What is journaling?
It's seeds of vision and legacy.
Seeds of vision and legacy. Oh, I love that. The 119 Collective Edition, Chapter 1. Hey, welcome to the Confidence Plug, intentionally building with Mabula Rodi, the Confidence Activator. I speak as keeper coach and a brand. We are talking journaling with Nthabiseng Chauke. Let's do this.
I'm blessed to be here. My name is Nthabiseng. I am here because I advocate for journaling. I am here because wherever I go, whether it be it in my business, whether be it in the book club, whether it be it in journaling platforms, what I want to leave behind is seeds of vision and legacy. So that's who I am.
Seeds of vision and legacy. Oh, I love that. Seeds of vision and legacy. And I think the first time I heard you, was it the first time I heard you speak about journaling? You were talking about how journaling serves also for the next generation, right?
Yeah.
If I don't write certain things, my children will never know. And I'm assuming these are also then the seeds of legacy that you are speaking to.
Correct.
Please educate us there. What is journaling? What are these seeds that you are dropping?
Okay. To simplify it and to make it more practical, I'm going to start right here where you are.
Yes, ma'am.
Somebody journaled. I always advise people to look at the Bible as a journal. Somebody journaled about Psalm 119. And here we are in the future. That book was written a long time ago.
Yeah.
And here we are meeting because somebody inspired by God through the Holy Spirit wrote it down.
Now we are benefiting from that.
We are daily. Yeah. It's a daily benefit. It's a practical thing.
Yeah. Sure.
And then for me, that's then when Hutlile journaling for the future. Can I share a bit on that?
Yes,
on how
ma'am.
it came, just to bring more emphasis. During COVID, personally, I've just been writing my entire life. I've been a diary person. I've been doing all that. I've always believed in that. Now, fast forward to 2020, sometimes when God then aligns you and puts a vision to be clear, you were speaking of how you waited on the Lord for this to manifest.
Yeah.
It was in you, but it was never, it has never really materialized till today.
Yeah.
So for me, 2020 during COVID, that's when journaling for the future came. And I mean, everybody was thinking about their lives. We were pausing. Even if you didn't want to pause, you will pause, especially during the lockdown. So that is when then I started to be intentional about journaling for my future generations, my children. And then that's when journaling for the future came about. So basically, what journaling is also putting your thoughts on paper, be it thoughts from your emotion, be it thoughts of your plans or the plans that God has for you, be it your prayers. So basically, to simplify it, because it's quite broad, it's you putting your thoughts on paper, whatever they look like.
Sure, putting your thoughts on paper, whatever they look like. And I love that fact to say whatever they look like, because it's also interesting because you see in the Bible as well, right? If we look at stories that are written, it depending on who tells the story is said differently. So this says whatever it looks like. When John was telling the story, it's not the same way that Mark was telling us, or Matthew was telling the story in his book.
Yes.
It's not the same way Luke was telling the story, but you find that it's the same story.
Yeah.
So we're living in the same world, but we're telling the story differently.
Yes.
Because it's what it looks like for me. I'm with you in the same church, we're in the same business, we're in the same school.
Yeah.
But how this looks like for me is how you are going to tell the story of this event today.
Yes. Yes.
You are going to write your thoughts however they are. And I love the just that little reference to scripture to say it was written.
Yeah.
And scripture is like one letter that was written. However, whoever
Yes.
You know, it's whoever is however. So now it could speak to the different kind of journalings that we actually get to do. So let's talk to the types of journaling that's available for us, or how do these thoughts that I have, how do I put them down in a manner that it makes sense? Yeah, how do we do that?
All right. I think I will go to a conversation I had with someone outside,
Yeah.
You know, we're speaking about, she was referring to how she wants to do it, but she doesn't know how to do it. So in terms of the types of journaling, it's quite broad. There are types where they should be done daily, first before I try to list them. And then there are types that you do seasonally as well. Ne?
Okay.
You spoke about gratitude journaling. It's right on top of my list.
Yes.
This one is like a daily. If you're gonna get any daily dosage of any kind of journaling or a pill that you wanna take every morning, it's a gratitude pill.
Sure.
Because the benefits that comes with it are quite vast. And then you have things like, I was also sharing with someone about the coloring journal. This one that I recently discovered, and I bought it and I found myself enjoying it. So there it's like pictures and pages, and that speaks to mental wellness and therapy as well. When I sit and pause with that color journal in my office or wherever, especially because you'll be doing a lot of creative work and you just want to debrief a little bit, it works for me. So there's also color journaling, there's productivity journaling, there is identity journaling, there is grief journaling, it's quite vast. Okay, think of it in this way before I even try to list. I will think of it in this way. Whatever comes out of your mind as a thought, take it as a type of journaling. I'll go back to that, whatever you wanna call it. Whether you are venting, it's a way of channeling. You know, you are putting it out there on paper for your benefit. So yeah.
Sure.
Just in a nutshell, yeah.
On the lighter note, I think my son needs to have a grief journal. Letawa, Mama, you might have work. You know, Letawa, we lost my mother-in-law, right, in January. And he was there to absorb. So first we lost my grandmother. And then you got to understand what death is, because we had to just make it clear what it is. And now his friend has lost her grandmother, right? Now they're talking about death. And I'm like, oh my gosh, these kids are having conversations about death. So we go to the funeral. It also says, look, when you go to my friend's grandmother's funeral, please bring me that thing with the picture, referring to the program, right? Then when we get to the funeral, the friend says, but Letawa knows about the funeral. Yeah, why he's not here? Because he knows about the funeral. I told him about the funeral. And Letawa Lena says, no, she told me about the funeral, how the grandmother died. And if now you see then he was telling of how his grandmother died, and then she was telling of how her grandmother died, and they're having that conversation. Now, when I came back, he's asking me, so did you go to the cemetery? So what color was what was the box there?
Oh my!
What color was the box? You know, what color was the car? So I'm thinking, so he's gathering conversational points that when he's with her, he's able to have a conversation. Oh no, but my grandmother's one was brown. Oh, your grandmother's one was black. You know, but then I was thinking, so these kids are already having the conversation.
Yes.
And then during the weeks, he says, look, I want to go to the cemetery. Kiri, what are you going to do at the cemetery? Because also he saw a picture of someone, a profile picture, someone he was at the cemetery with a tombstone, actually a picture. He says, I want to go to the cemetery of my grandmother. Why? I don't know, just for memories, to take pictures. And that day they had covered the tombstone. I want to go to take pictures and just for memories. Shame. But do you remember her buns? Her buns were nice. Her buns were nice. I need to go take pictures for memories. So I've not even told my husband this, right? To say, this is what your child is saying, but for me was these kids are already having
Yes.
these conversations.
Yes.
And they're not saying she passed away, but she died.
Yes.
Right?
As
She
it is.
died. And I'm thinking, so these children are already having these conversations.
Yeah.
How do we then have, so I'm just speaking to, grief journaling to say, perhaps we should be assisting him to put this down. You know, one is he thinking about death, even if it's not in paper, because maybe he can't write it out now because he's just 7. Perhaps we can record this. And maybe have a conversation about grief intentionally, you know. And when we're having these conversations, we're able to record them and put them down and assist other children. And so also assist other parents to have conversations with their children, because now we can no longer hide these things from them. So these journalings will indeed help us to assist another one to have a conversation, because mine began the conversation, so he's forcing me to have the conversation. I guess when we have these things and we put them down, we are able to assist the next one to have the conversation. Right.
You know, just to chip in there and also add on that, you remind me of a practical thing that happened, because there was, I think it was 3 years back, one of my closest friend passed away. Vela, we were preparing for the funeral and all of that. And then her daughter, because now you have to, I'm the face of the mother that she's seeing at that moment. I think she was maybe 12 or so. The first thing I did for her when I went back the following day, I took a journal with her mother's name and I said, write letters to her. Because now you're feeling the absence, write about how I can't find you in my bedroom, Mama. This is what I'm experiencing. I miss you already. Semi, my little brother is crying because he can't see you. You know, that type of thing. So as much as the Bible says we must be like children, you see how flexible children are. That's why they are saying that he's dead, she's dead. You know, right on it. They don't even abajikaji. And so Rena, we have been brought up in such a way that grief, you know, in the corner. Sometimes we'll even not be given a chance to go and grieve or to even, you know, speak about it and feel the pain and be in it as children. You only have memories of it. So I would say for our younger generation, 7 is not too young for him to journal. He knows how to write. Even if he writes one sentence and say, Gogo, I miss your band. You know, Gogo, I wish you could call me like you used to, or whatever it is, because they can articulate. Whether the drama is bad or not. It reminds me of one of my friend's daughters as well. She was young when she wrote a note to her mother. She was complaining about a certain thing. She was going through whatever she was, but she wrote it down. I'll also give an example. World War One, there's a girl, you'll Google her, called Anne Frank. She was in the midst of the war in Europe, and they were locked in some sort of dungeon with, I think, the grandmother or whatever. And through that war in Europe or whatever, you'll Google her, just Google Anne Frank. She wrote a journal. Even if you go online today, you will read. And she was very young. I think she started when she was 12. She started recording the war, what she's feeling, what's happening in the journal. So in a nutshell, I would say our children are not too young.
I love the practicality. I love the practicality that you are bringing to it, to say, because I was thinking, okay, how is he supposed to journal, or how do you do then grief journaling? But I like the fact that you are saying, write a letter to the person. You know, I mean, you can write a letter to God. You can write a letter. So I'm liking the practicality of how you journaling, whichever journaling that you will be doing at the time. I like the practicality. So you're already sharing with us the steps of how do I journal. So do we use different books? Because I'm struggling with, do I have to have 5 journals? Do I use validi compartments? You know, I can write, say, you know, that one with sticky, whatever. How do we section it? Because now you are sharing, okay, there's this different journalings that I need to do. So I've identified, these are the ones that I do daily, these are the ones that I do, you know, seasonally, these ones are the ones. So how do we then structure them in a way that I can still go back to it and it makes sense. Because now you're telling should I label them? Should I use one right from back to forward?
Okay. Okay, I'll give practical examples of the journals that I keep. And that I recommend you start there, because remember, if you go into it madla, you will fail dismally, so you need to take it step by step. I would highly recommend that you have a gratitude journal or jar. Keep it solely for that, because what happens when I go to my gratitude journal, I look back at last year, 2021 Jamachi. This is 2027 now. Megili at the mustard pot with the confidence activator. I'm so grateful for that moment. It's a moment that I journaled in gratitude.
Sure.
Besides the little things that you will journal, whether in your jar or whatever. So gratitude, let it be a separate thing, right?
Yeah.
And then there are seasonal journals, like the letter that you would write to someone who passed away.
Yeah.
Some journals eventually turn into books, because you recorded them faithfully. And then for productivity and planning, task planning, keeping a diary and all of that, that is something that you need to have, as much as it's, how you would go to gym and you will say, these people are obsessed. They're drinking shakes, they're doing all this, supplement, they're doing that. Journaling should be approached in that way.
Okay.
It is a gift, and we don't need to be lazy in approaching it and saying, so many journals, where do I start? But the basics, have a gratitude journal, productivity to plan, that will be for your goals, whether daily, whether monthly, whether annually, whatever it is, depending on what you get, because there's a lot of things in the market. That is something to have. And in terms of grief, it can be letters dedicated to my grandmother. And I just write every day, because that person is very close to you. Or you can even use it for the losses. Remember, grief is not only the physical loss of a person. It can be a friendship that was very, you lost a car, and you spoke about the little things that you take for granted when you are speaking in context of gratitude. But losing a car and putting it at the back of your mind and not dealing with it, it's also something that is harmful to your mind. So if you put it down, it's something that you lost, no matter how little it is. We are all grown. We're like, the friendship. I don't care about
friendship
it at all. But if it hurts, it hurts. Put it down on paper. It can be sectioned then into the grief. All I'm saying for grief, it doesn't need to be a physical loss of someone who departed from earth, but it can be anything or anyone that you loved.
I love it. I love the fact that we show the practicality of it. This is being simplified. Because like you are saying, also like gym, it's hard until you get there, right? But also I guess it also speaks to the intention. Why are you doing it? If you are to then clear the foundation of why you need to journal, why is it important for you to put your thoughts down, then it gets easier for you. The work doesn't really, even if it's tedious, but it doesn't really become tedious because you understand, or if I don't put this thought down, like I had to journal food journaling. I had to do food journaling this week. And the way I don't remember everything that I ate on Monday.
There is a journal like that. There is one health tracker.
We were sitting with a dietitian, and he was saying, I want you to journal all the meals that you are eating, everything. You say I had 550 meals, cup of coffee. Write it down so that we are able to know how much calories did you consume, where and when did you eat these things, So when you are able to then also, he's teaching wellness over just weight loss and whatnot. So then the psychology of food, understanding the psychology of wellness, the psychology of food, and the psychology of and then you get to realize that everything must be written down, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's what I'm hearing to say.
Yes.
Unfortunately, everything must be written down for as long as it stays in your mind. I think there's a picture that you also like posting that for as long as it's in your mind, it's like washing it fase taka so
yes.
all right, but
yes.
once you put it down, it's like you are hanging
yes.
the clothes in the closet,
Yes.
color coordination,
Yes.
and then color code. Also, being in the closet, it means they're haphazard. But when they're in the right journal, it means they're also color coordinated
Yes.
in the wardrobe. So I know if I want my browns are in that one. I just go straight. I'm not wasting 2 minutes.
Yes.
Because I know my browns are here.
Yes.
But when they're everywhere, so I'm wasting time.
Yes.
So do you agree that if it's not down, we're wasting time?
We are wasting time if it's not. And there could be, there are a lot of benefits that come with it, right? Obviously, psychologically and everything. But I also want to go back to the gym thing.
Yeah.
Or let me speak about water, right?
Okay.
I can choose to not drink water for 3 days and still survive.
Yes.
But if I choose to build the habit of drinking a liter every day, my skin is starting to glow, I have more energy, I have all these things happening in me. So is journaling.
Sure.
It looks like something that we're not supposed to be doing, like drinking water. You can neglect it and go on with life.
Yeah.
I know I need to bath every day so I don't. But there are things that we know we do, and this ones I don't compromise. What I can compromise and drink coffee every day and not drink water. But so is journaling. You will feel the effects the minute you start building it as a habit and doing it consistently, just like the example of drinking water. So I would say,
oh, maybe we should begin a challenge. At least about 21 days, kumana tarawa gargano trauma, ravalidi accountability, sending, reading. It could assist us. Maybe, with the interest of time, let's zoom into productivity generally, right? Because for me, I for my own sake as well, right? But also I feel it's one that we're not doing. It feeds from gratitude journaling, but also it speaks into our progression. Productivity journaling, right?
Yes.
Because I'm thinking if you don't have a schedule, I was like, no, I love winging it. You can do whatever, whenever, but then you realize when it's not down, I actually don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. Meaning, and this is what you like saying, actually, to say, if you have not planned it, tomorrow is already wasted. Because when you then have a productivity journal, it tells you by 4 a.m., between 4 and 5, I'm up for prayer. Between 5 and you are counting for your time as you go. But when you don't have that, you don't know what's happening tomorrow. You don't know, you are wasting time. So I want us to speak to productivity journaling. What is productivity journaling, Jay? How do we do it right? And how is it helpful to us?
Okay. Productivity journaling, I'll start with the tools or the types of tools that you need to use for it.
Yes.
As simple, I always teach from a diary because everybody has access to a diary. Some of us receive branded ones from insurance companies, from whatever, but unfortunately there are phone numbers there. You don't see what a weapon you have in your hand. I will take it from a diary, which is a common thing. There are task planners, there are daily planners. I love what I see there as well.
We got this intentionally because it had everything that we would speak to today.
Can I please have it? Thank you so much. Can I just browse? I saw something here. Maybe we can be, practical about it. Okay. I want to go to 2020. All right. Let's go to March 2026. I think it's okay if we do it like this. The practicality of it. Because we all have it in hand, and from here we're just going to implement and then start being productive. And while we're opening it, productivity journaling. Productivity speaks to progress. Productivity speaks to wins. You're not ticking off from the list, or this is what I've done, this is what I've done. And you look at the work, or whatever sphere you find yourself in, you find yourself making great progress there and producing results that are tangible. You know, a day can go like, I'm going into Monday with all energy. I'm going into Monday with all energy. I'm gonna hit it, and I'm gonna hit it hard. And by the end of Monday at 5 o'clock, you look at it, except for sitting and maybe answering one email. You know, you've already lost that day. And daily we are fighting for time. Yeah. We are complaining. Sometimes I would joke and say, if my son could just give me 2 hours of his time, give me 26 hours at least, I would get things done. But that's not how God did it. He gave it equal. We all have amount of time that is equal in a day. And how you approach it is how you are going to be productive when you end that day. So we go to March 2026. This is you sitting. And I always recommend that when you do this, whether you are planning your day, whether you are whatever type of journaling you do, find a quiet space to do it. Yeah. Give it your all. Like then when you do it like that every day, it builds you up. It's now a habit that you are building in your life. Now we go and you look at the month of March. We are already on the 21st. Yes. If you look at my planner, it has this kind of date. I love this part, especially if it's there in a diary where there's an overview date of a month. My appointments are already locked in. I was surprised, like, I was supposed to go the 22. So you sit down and look at your day. You sit down and look, whether it's a family event, whether it's your son's soccer match, whether you're supposed to take a trip to whether it's a cup of coffee with a friend. You write it down, you slot it in on that day, the overview calendar that is on this. You slot it down. That is you already working on your productivity, because you know you're not gonna have to budge for time here and here because you forgot about this or you double booked yourself or whatever. Sure. So that is a productivity. And when we go into like a daily diary, you know how a diary is, the ones that we get in a lady times on top from 7. I think most of them start from 7 and they end I think at 4 or something. What you do there, it's, if you want to use it as an effective tool, because most people will be like, I'm just supposed to be writing my appointments on these times. No, if you are planning your Monday, start by saying from 8 to 9 I work on this project. Or I do design. I would say I will be doing design for this client. You lock it in, close it in. Whether it's an assignment that you're going to be doing, write it. That is you speaking to your productivity and making sure that you win at the end of the day. From 8 to 9, I will be in a meeting with my boss discussing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You put it down. Just like that, hour to hour, you account for your hours, you account for your minutes, you know, you're accounting for your time. So then automatically productivity level rises. There's a study that I saw, a link, I think it's a Harvard study. They said productivity costs companies a certain billion of rents because of the employees who are not productive. And mainly, we are not productive because we do not account for our time. You know, we do not write it down. I'm big on reminders. I also use the reminders because I love technology on the phone to remind, but it's not as effective as when you write it down and you know that this is what I'm going to be doing.
Sure, I love it because, you know, like you're saying, we miss it's accounting for time. Yes. I think that for me, what I'm getting, the basis is really accounting. Productivity is equals to you accounting for your time. Yes. And you know, when we saw these, was like, we're not buying big ones because people will go get themselves big ones. But this is, you can put in the handbag. Yes. Right? Yes. So the same thing that you are writing on your big one, you are putting it down in here, and then you're slotting it in your handbag. Yes. So I know that time, I don't have the big one. Let's say for me, sometimes my things must also be known by Thembani. So Thembani stays with the big one, I stay with the small one. And then we're able to, jot this thing down. Or if we lock it on the Google Calendar, it's also there. But also, now someone wants to speak to me, let me quickly check my calendar. I can quickly open this. But I like one that you've really just mentioned, blocking time. Blocking time to an activity, because we assign activity to a day, but we don't block time to it, and then we get to waste time, and then you can end up the whole day with idea, because today I need to do, but when you say I'm gonna do it, when?
Exactly.
And then I think the fact that you wrote it before also is like forcing you to say, but you said between 9 and 10. That's the time blocked for writing. I mean, we can conclude so many projects.
Exactly.
We will submit our assignments on time. I never submitted the assignment at 11:54. By 11:54 that night, I said I will do it. But I love the fact that this is practical to say. And again, we're speaking to productivity. Project it can't be an ongoing project.
No.
An assignment has the due date. So when you have your due date, you should be able to then say, this is it. But also this says to us, get time, right?
Yes.
I always use example here, WhatsApp. I don't respond to my WhatsApp because you sent it to me. I'm not afraid of blue ticking you. Because message engagement. So sometimes I don't open the message because I know I don't have time to engage. As a message, I can quickly say, oh yeah, no, come on, we're gating you a sharp. But 2-3 times. So then I will leave it unopened. So I always try to liberate people in terms of blue tick. The WhatsApp is mine. In the 3 hours of writing my book. When you want to filter yourself in my 3 hours of writing my book. So I want to defer you to the next hour where I have time. Meaning I will respond to you in my next hour when I have time. And we should be okay with that. Because sometimes you have the time, and also understanding that you have the time now, I don't.
Exactly.
So sometimes also we will learn also to say, can you take a call? Are you able to take a call now? And then we schedule calls as well. We schedule. Now this life looks too professional. You are that person who's like, you are untouchable. Just chill, relax, Mara. You need to be scheduling your time if you are able to be productive. You need to be separating yourself if you are to be productive. You need to be professionalizing yourself for you to be productive. And there's nothing wrong with that. Maybe let's take questions. And then we are wrapping up as we are taking the questions. So when they're asking questions, if it speaks to any other journaling, let's, the answers must be full. Covering, but we are taking questions now. So now we've opened up for questions. We've got Tukisho on the question side.
Morning.
I want to know, I can now we've got so much technology. We have so many channels that you can get even on the phones. Can they also be effective, or do I really need to dedicate myself to sitting
pen and paper,
writing?
Okay, let's take 2, or you want to take them one by one?
I think so.
Okay.
I don't lose my.
So let me just, for the purpose of Tukisho is asking, there's technology that is available. Should we limit ourselves to pen and paper, or should we, try to use technology to come in handy, or how can we use both of them?
Okay, I'll answer it in 2 ways. Writing, I'll start with writing, literal writing, putting them on paper. There's a process that happens there. It's like you are speaking to yourself, to your mind, and you are also speaking like there's a process that is happening when you are putting your thoughts on paper, literally, psychologically as well, ne? Because now you have taken time to pause. The pause on its own of you taking time to write in a busy schedule, it has a positive psychological effect on you. Now, when it comes to technology, I'm a technology girl, ne? I always advise people to also use it. You can use it in conjunction with your diary. Let's speak to productivity.
Yeah.
Like the reminders app on our phones. If you, I'll just give you a tip or a plug. Go to YouTube and check whether it's Android, whether it's iOS. Ask, how can I effectively use the reminders app? That tool in your phone has so much power. There's a whole session on it where it can make your life easy. But I would still, and I will still vouch for it, put your thoughts on paper, supplement with technology, because it is here to help us and to make life easy as well. So I wouldn't say plan your entire day, you like from 7 to 9 on your phone. The practicality of it is a bit, but use it supplementing as a supplementary tool.
Do we have perhaps one note that is on the cloud, right?
Yeah.
Like one of the normal notes. So when I lost my phone, I lost my notes because I had written them on the notes on the phone, not notes that's on the cloud.
Yes.
Maybe you can assist us with that, because sometimes I use notes as I go, because get out the thoughts. Or if I'm writing a book, I have chapters on the phone. So if I have a thought on this chapter, I just quickly just put it down. Or if I have a thought on something, I will just do it and then quickly put it down, because I'm moving. Also, this will be faster than perhaps writing. But what have you used perhaps, or which one do you know that is really effective? I know that if I lose my phone, I can still just go back, retrieve, and then and have that.
Okay. For me, it works well on my phone because I use the same. I think what kills us is using different accounts to on your phone. Like if it's a Gmail account, make sure you use it consistently. It will still come back. What's happening? Well, for me, the practicality of it is me having used the same iCloud account. I can still go back to documents that were saved, well done. I think that's the only solution. We can still search and see what's the other solution, but for me, that is what works.
Alrighty. Do we have any other question? Yes, ma'am.
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
I just like to ask, can journaling help you read better? Even academically as well, help you study better and hold information better?
Oh, I love this question.
That's a beautiful question.
So she's asking if journaling can help us to retain, better. Can we read better? Can we retain information better because we've learned to write?
Let's say I'm going to record my day today on a journal. I'm not gonna tell maybe my husband about it. Oh, this is what happened when we arrived and all of that, and I put it down in my journal word for word. Already my memory is coming in that process. It's being strengthened as you are doing that. The recollection of the information you have that you have written down is much stronger than the one you have when you're just maybe saying it or narrating. So write it down.
I know, Shemu, that's it. Because I'm like, I'm comfortable with voice notes. Now I'm even learning, come on, I can write this book. I don't want to now, Word has like an audio option where you can play the sound and it writes for you. So I'm like, I'm going to just say, look, today, nothing that transcribes, my book will be. So, but what you are saying now, when I think about it, it makes so much sense, because imagine if you were to recollect today. It's a lot of work. Oh my God, like I think for me is really dealing with the lazy, because now technology is also working against us in terms of a lazy mind that wants something that can do this quick for me.
Oh my
Because having to think about my day when I woke up and put it down, so much work.
Yes.
So you can easily write a book because you are just recollecting.
Yes.
But we are just lazy to recollect.
Yes.
Oh my gosh. Do we have any other question? Okay. Okay, Manaru was up first and then you'll come after.
Thank you so much. So I'm in the very early stages of my business, like I'm doing a business, and I really want to capture this season of my life, but I don't know how to go about it in journaling. Like I want to be able to journal this walk, the season that I'm in. How would you advise I go about it?
Sure, she wants advice on how to journal her journey, and I think it's an amazing thing. Is what you spoke about in the beginning about journaling for the future.
Yes.
And she wants to journal her journey of her business, and I think this is one thing that we've missed as business people. Have you journaled your journey, ma'am? Have you ever written your journey over in business?
Me?
Yeah.
I've got maybe 3 journals.
That's amazing. Yeah, because I'm thinking, when you recollect to say, we are 15 years now. You are able to go back and say, in the first year, we didn't have 1, 2, 3. I did not know what I was doing. I went to attend this meeting. How should she do it? I'm already having an idea and I'm thinking, oh my God, how should she do it?
Okay. Remember in the beginning when I said journaling is your thoughts, however they look. Whatever those thoughts are. So for you, it's a season of starting your business. It comes with a lot of chapters already, that you need to put down. From the inception, when it was just a vision that this is how I see it. Remember, one of the things that journaling does, you can also write the full picture of what you want to see at the end, at the beginning, and it will be your why. So I think if you have already recorded your vision, for your business and how you want it to look, then you go from chapter to chapter, from experience to experience. Whether you started with that one employee or you were struggling to get material for whatever it is, you write it down. And the beauty of what you write down, I will still go back to why there is journaling for the future. I write down about my business. I write letters to my children on their birthdays and all of that, mainly because when they look back and see, oh mama, this is the chapter of her life where she really struggled. I thought she's just there because she didn't experience it. So the power of the words that you wrote and you experience, as much as there is power in the way that we are reading, those chapters will also speak to the future, but it will also help you to be engaged in the moment, the emotions of business. When you can't pay salaries, when you can't buy that thing, when you can't, it's emotions that we usually just go, because we are busy and say, I don't have time for this. And then before we know it, everyone is complaining about mental wellness and say, you're stressed, we are anxious generation. There's a book out there saying the anxious generation. That is who we are. That is what they call us. Because we don't go through emotions of experience, whether it's business, whatever you call it, and put it down on paper and be in it. The beauty of writing things down, it forces you to pause. You said we are here to pause. It forces you to pause and really be in the moment. So
I love it so much. Also, I'm just thinking you could have a journal of its own, like your business, right? I'm thinking write every day about whatever that you do about it every day, and then in the week you are able to see and do a review and section it out, right? To say, so Monday I dealt with this part of the business, Tuesday I dealt with this part of the business, okay. Because sometimes also you can have 4 things that you are dealing with in terms of your business, right? To say, we are doing strategy, we are doing production, we are doing what we're doing what. So when you do your reflection at the end of the week, you are able to say, in terms of strategy, what did I do? In terms of production, what did I do? In terms of what did I do? In terms of finances, where am I? And then you are able to section it out in that way. Or if it's one journal, you know that your business section, your family section, your ministry, what. Then you are able to then do this. At the end of the day, you are able to then do this. So we have the last question, and then we are going to go out. The rest of the questions, when we are painting, we are still here. We will continue with the questions after. Let's just take the last one, and then we will be out of them.
Good afternoon. So my question, I still remember it very well. So yesterday, I was lucky enough, you were talking about journaling. So when after church, I had told my friend and I asked her, do you have a journal? And she said no. And then I'm like, why? And then she's like, I used to have a diary when I was young, and I used to write dear diary. And then my dad found it, and I got in trouble. So, and I'm thinking, if I'm going to be journaling, I'll probably write even feelings that I do not want to share with everyone. So how did you manage, or how do you manage to still write your feelings down? And I mean, it's a book, and you want to read it. You're safe in the house. So how do I feel free to write everything that I'm feeling and feelings that I don't want to share with anyone, and still manage to keep it to myself? Because I remember I once bought a journal and I wrote two pages, and I just like,
And you're like, oh my God. My son was caught at school. So a teacher did something to him which he didn't like and whatnot, and he wrote his feelings down in his diary. And then he wrote, I wish she could die. I wish, she could just disappear and whatnot. So he wrote his emotions on paper. Someone steals that journal, and then they give it to the teacher. The teacher tears the paper.
Oh my.
And then they now reading all this. And the teacher now was emotional because things happened. There's another Logodi child who once said she could die or whatever. So now there's another Logodi child who's wishing her death again. and they were all at the pit of hell. And then now he was in trouble. We were called into the principal's office for this, and on the schools, whatever it was, warranting with the also suspension and all those things. And I'm freaking out. I'm trying to think. My husband is like, this is not his handwriting. Shiloh can't write these things. And I look at them, I'm like, this is Shiloh's handwriting. I look at his book again, I'm like, this is indeed he, right? And I'm thinking, oh my gosh. So what are we going to do? How are we going to advocate for this? I'm like, yeah, but they invaded his privacy. This is me. Trying to see how I'm going to arm myself and people like all these things. But shocking enough, we get to the office and the principal says, oh, what an emotional intelligence, act of emotional intelligence.
Yes.
This child did not say this words or his feelings to the teacher. He wrote his feelings on paper, but now his privacy was invaded, and someone else got to then see that how do we protect our privacy in terms of journaling, because I don't and then the key,
Okay, confidentiality.
Yeah.
It's a very sensitive thing. I can leave my phone here, somebody who has my password can expose whatever is there. We've seen cases of people who from technology have had their confidentiality invaded and they are out there. So whether it's through a journal, whether it's through someone who finds your court papers and takes them out there, it will always be a risk.
Sure.
But I would recommend, okay, let me tell a little story.
Yes.
I myself had kept a secret. I was in boarding school, I remember in high school. I kept a secret, a family secret that I knew. And then my family, my mother and family didn't think I knew about it. So I was writing and recording it. Came back from hostel, came back, got trunk. I remember got the trunk. I put it in my trunk in the garage and thought no one will find it. Hey, my mother unpacked my things and found. And she found out that I knew.
Yeah.
And we had to have a conversation right there and then. I won't go much into it, but I'm saying I had recorded something down and it was found. As much as I chose to hide it, it's in the garage. It's only gonna go out at school. My mother's not even gonna touch this, but she found it. So I would say try to keep it as private as possible and protect it as much as you can. There are journals, one that I know, yellow coat, it looks like a briefcase, quite
Yes.
executive and beautiful.
Mm.
But when I look at it, if Moto is intentional about knowing my secret, Utonopata on the side
Yes.
and read what I have written down. So I think for me it's just a way of life, whether be it journaling, whether be it through the phone, whether it be through things that you don't want people to, or something I tell you in confidence,
Yeah.
you take it out. It's the same as that. You can never really,
Protect it.
but we hope that it is protected. That's all I can say on it.
I always think of it in terms of vulnerability, right? That vulnerability, we're out of time. Vulnerability is, it helps you, not the next person.
Yeah.
And what the next person does with your own vulnerability is none of your business. You have no control over it, right? If I told you crying that, oh my gosh, we don't have bread, and you go around telling people that I asked you, right, for bread, and you gave me bread, and you go around telling people, that's not rotten and did we not eat?
You ate. Yes.
So I ate. My vulnerability assisted me at the time of need. What you do with it after, I say nyaga. Of course it will hurt me. That why would you go around telling such sensitive matters? But not at the time. I wanted to relieve. Now I have this emotion which I can't share with my husband. Let me share it with a friend of mine.
Yes.
And a friend of mine decides to do whatever with it. Not at the time. I got relief. I just wanted to share this emotion. And I'll be fine to go back home. So what you do with my vulnerability is none of my business. So I think when we journal, we are journaling for ourselves.
Yes.
We are journaling to release our emotions.
Yes.
We are journaling to put our thoughts down. What the next person decides to do with our thoughts is none of our business. Thank you so much for for joining us today. We will continue with the conversation outside, but what I want us to do right now is to go out and action out what we've learned. Thank you so much. I'm enjoying this already. The conversation will continue outside, but now let's just go action out. Pour our hearts into paper or phones, and then we'll get into it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.